couldn't wait to get that off. Thank you. I want to congratulate the graduates before I do anything else. Just like the captain said, this is based on your decision to change something and maybe break a cycle. And that could be a cycle of addiction, that could be a cycle of violence, it could be a cycle of homelessness. Whatever it is, just understand that your dedication and your hard work towards completing something valuable and something important about you and your own life, you need to be commended. So congratulations on that. I was actually asked to tell a story or a little bit about myself. And yet the truth of the matter is the reason why we're here is because of you. But what I do want to do is share about two people, if you don't mind. And we're going to talk about two different individuals. Person number one is an individual that may have gone down the wrong path. Person number one has a conviction of grand theft. Person number one has been convicted of misdemeanor battery, several misdemeanor under the influence convictions. Person number one also has several, well, let's just say multiple felony convictions. 3 for controlled substances, 1 for possession of a firearm, another for being an ex-con in possession of a loaded firearm. Person number one, 25 years of their life was in substance use. 9 years of their life was in incarceration. Okay. Person number two, on the other hand, was a college student, received many awards and scholarships. Person number two maintained a 4.0 or straight A GPA throughout their college education. Person number two was on the National Dean's List. Person number two received the Certificate of Honor from the College of Health and Human Services. Person number two received another award as the Outstanding Senior Award for the entire university that they attended. Person number two received special recognition in graduate studies. And person number two was actually recognized by city, county, state officials as being an outstanding father. So my question, and what I want to just kind of go over is, what could be some of the differences between person number one and number two, other than the path that they took in life? Could the differences be maybe the type of childhood that they experienced? Could those differences be their upbringing? What was their home life like? Where did they grow up? Was there abuse and trauma in the home? And we can talk about all the different kinds of abuses, mental, physical, sexual, emotional. Maybe there was domestic violence in the home. Maybe those are some differences. Could the differences be their socioeconomic status? Could the differences maybe even be their culture or their ethnicity or the opportunities that were provided to them? We wonder. Let's talk a little bit about some similarities. What if I told you that these two individuals had very similar childhoods, very similar upbringing? What if I told you that these two individuals had the same socioeconomic status? What if I told you that these two individuals are actually of the same culture and of the same ethnicity? And what if I told you that these two individuals are actually the same person? And what if I told you that I am that person? Here's what I want you to understand. Both of these individuals, while I'll still talk about them separately, both received a mental health diagnosis in their lifetime. Depression, to be exact. Both of these individuals definitely had a substance use disorder. Maybe one is more evident than the other. Both of those individuals also are a survivor of a suicide attempt. And without getting too graphic, but I need to be graphic in relation to how I'll put this story together. They attempted suicide by hanging. And the only reason that they can stand and talk to people today is because someone found them hanging. And if they didn't, then they wouldn't be here today. I say that because here's what you have to understand for you graduates. You or we define, beginning today, who we are and who we can or who we choose to become. It's up to you. There are some differences, and I will tell you what those differences are between the man that I am today and the man that I may have been before. And when I say man from that person before, it's a stretch. It's the perception of the life that I had given, that God had given me. It's the choices that I make. It was the fact that there was a time that I was unwilling to surrender. And yet then later I surrendered. It has to deal with honesty, it has to deal with being open-minded, and it has to be about being willing to do something different, like you guys have begun that journey today, or by completing the LIMA program. I need you graduates to do something. I need you to look around you. Look at the people that are in this room. We are here for you. And if you don't trust us yet, you need to work on trusting the people that are in this room. What I also want you to understand and what you need to know is that you have to be willing to do the work, because those of us in this room, although we're here to support you, we cannot do the work for you. Now, if you have any previous experiences like I did, and maybe some other people in this room, in relation to homelessness, in relation to self-managing and self-medicating to deal with maybe a mental health issue, maybe even trying to get high and stay high and lie and cheat and steal, I will tell you that that takes a lot of energy. Don't ever think that you don't have the energy or the ability to do anything that you want to do. But what I expect, and if this is what you should expect of yourselves, is that you take the energy that you used for all the wrong reasons and you channel that energy for all the right reasons. And again, I want you to understand what you control, and this is all you control, is your attitude and the effort that you put forth towards turning your life around. That's it. And again, I will remind you, we are here to support you. And the reason why I say that no one here should have to work any harder than you're willing to work on your own life, I would be remiss not to bring this up, and it's probably going to impact me just a little bit. I told Angel I'm a crybaby, but let me do this. My dad worked a lot harder on me than I was willing to work on myself at a certain point in my life. And I can tell you that the chief of police from the city that I grew up in, he was a friend of the family. A lot of individuals had always told my dad's name was Jim, so let me go ahead and, they used to say, Jim, you need to cut him loose, he's no good. And I found out later that my dad made the comment to them that, well, it's my son, it's my only son. Which finger do you want me to cut off? Meaning he was unwilling to do so. However, I took advantage of that and I used the love that he had for me against him for a long, long time. I'm not proud of it. So just so you know, he was able to be a part of some of the awards and some of the things that we talked about based on when I finally turned my life around, again, after 25 years. I will tell you that when I moved out here in December of 2010, it was with the intention of bringing my father with me in order that I could repay him and take care of him. So we moved out here. I actually moved by myself. The wife and kids stayed in Southern California until I could see if this was where we were going to stay. I moved out here in December of 2010, like I said, with that intention. And my father died in January of 2011. I say that for the family members, and I say that for you guys, because you don't want to feel the regret of not being able to finish something that you set your mind to do. Not a day goes by, and here we are in January, that I don't think about the things that I learned from my father, and think about how I wish I had the opportunity to take care of him the way he took care of me. If I had just a drop of the love that that man had for his family, then I would consider myself to be a great man. The other thing that I want to do, and I want to say for those of us that are in this room, and I'll tell you why, and then I'll finish. A couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to go into a medium security correctional facility in Wyoming. And I went in there in order to went in there and got out. Just so you guys know, that was a good thing. But I actually went in there and was able to do a training for a certain area that was working and doing a therapeutic community in a certain section of the prison. During one of the breaks, one of the correctional officers that was assigned to that unit came and asked me, we had a question and answer period. And he asked me, he said, you know what, he says, sir, he says, I'd like to know what I need to do differently. Now, I didn't know him. But as we started to talk about the training, and he was responsible for this area where these inmates were, he says, what do I need to do differently? And I told him, I says, you have a job to do. I said, I would never, as a CO, I would never tell you what you're supposed to do. I would never tell you what to do differently. You have a job description to maintain the safety of this facility, to make sure that things don't get out of hand, especially in a prison. I said, I would never tell you how to do your job differently. I said, but I will ask you a question, and you don't need to answer it. And I asked that question, and it's really more for me, I'm challenging the people in this room. Although most of you are already in this place, I want you to reevaluate. If you're law enforcement, or if it's part of our justice system, or the specialty courts, or anybody here that's in the helping profession, whatever that might be, what I asked that man, and the question that I asked him, and I wanted him to evaluate it, was, do you truly believe that the people in here can change? That's all I asked him to do. You can change, but you have to do the work. And all I want to do is, and I told some of you this in the other room because I hadn't met all of you yet, I want to set something in front of you as well if I can. You may not choose to go this route, but I'm going to tell you right now that if you choose to give back and be a part of this profession, the helping profession, you come and see me, you stay stable, you stay clean and sober, you keep moving forward for a year, you come and see me, I promise you I will give you opportunity to work. I will hire you. If that's what you choose to do. Again, I want to just congratulate all of you for this achievement, and I truly want to thank all of you for allowing me the opportunity to be a part of your success and allowing me to share. Thank you very much.